My hair's a mess. I am just fluster-dustered. Hey friends, welcome back to Simply a Better You. Today is another canning day. Today we are dicing up and canning our tomatoes that we got from the Amish store. I've got 2 boxes to do, and we are halfway through the blanching process, and I'm getting them chopped up and in a pot to heat up to get ready to can.
And I'm her helper.
And Hannah, of course, is helping me today. She is my peeler and doing a wonderful job. So you can see here we've got quite a bit of a mess going. Of course, we got the towel on the floor to catch all of the tomato juice and water that we are spilling everywhere. I am quickly blanching the tomatoes. I am blanching tomatoes in a pot to get the skins to split, and then they go into ice water. We ran out of ice halfway through the process, so we are now using ice packs to cool the water down. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I'm gonna be pulling the tomatoes out and putting them in the water. Hannah is the one that is peeling them as they are cooling down. Some of these are not quite ready. It says about 30 to 60 seconds. Usually 60 is the right number, but sometimes I have to leave them in there a little bit longer.
And some days my mom gets me with the hot water.
Like, ooh, that is hot. When they haven't split all the way up the sides, I leave them in there for just a little bit longer. I really want the skins to come off easily and quickly. I don't want to have to sit there and peel. So we're going to turn this off.
I know what, don't let your kids do this. Only let them peel.
Let that run for a little bit.
Okay.
See if we can get it cold. The tomatoes are very hot. They do heat up the water very quick, so that's why I'm constantly dumping ice. When we bought our new fridge, it's not even half the ice maker that we had before. It's like a quarter of it. Plus, my bottom half in my second drawer of my freezer has an ice making option, and they make these big round balls, and we use all of those first. But
Mom, the ice picks are not
I know.
cold.
It went bad. So not cooling them completely is not going to mess up your tomato. I am dicing these and cooking them in a pan. The tomato is going to be hot again because we are water bathing these, and I am making sure everything stays nice and hot so that I don't have any of my jars break. Okay. Okay, yeah, that could work. So the idea though is you want to stop the cooking process as quick as possible, and it helps peel the skins off on the outside. Plus, if you have a little helper, those tomatoes are very hot. You do want them to be cold because I don't want her to burn her hand. Yeah, that's much better. That's much, much better.
Yeah,
so
you spray them, they're okay.
It is totally up to you what you want to do with your peels. We are saving our peels. We are going to dehydrate them and then blend them in the blender or the food processor and make tomato powder. And you can use that to add to soups, stews, anything that you'd like a tomato flavor to. We got quite a big mess going on here. I've got my first jar. I got my first pot of tomatoes. This is half of one case. That's the other half of one case. I really wish I had put these on a scale and measured them, but we don't own a scale.
Yes.
says 25-pound flat, so maybe this was 25 pounds of tomatoes. And we bought 2. You want good tomatoes. So you go through your tomatoes, you're gonna pull out anything that has bruising or a soft squishy end. Obviously anything that's molded or icky, you know, you don't want those. Pull all those out.
Your tomatoes, you get these.
Yes, you do. You get messy hands. I love that Hannah can help me with this. She's always wanting to help me in the kitchen, and I'm very, you know, very willing for her to help. But when I'm canning and there's so much hot stuff going on and boiling and things, you know, I'm a little leery to have her in here in the kitchen. This is a very small space to work in. So, you know, she knows that when Mommy's transferring tomatoes, she needs to go ahead and step back behind me and let me put tomatoes in, because I don't want to fling hot water on her.
And
Ooh, it's warm in here.
This is what they look like when they're peeled, okay?
You need another...
Yes. I do.
Oh. There we go. These have been some of the best tomatoes I have ever gotten. They taste amazing. They are good enough that you just want to pick them up and bite into them. They just have that really good sweetness to them. Popsicle break. It's so hot. These are so bad for you.
And my mom's now has sugar.
Lots of artificial stuff, coloring, sugar. While I'm canning up organic fresh tomatoes.
And when I help my mom, I get extra time on my phone.
Remember? Progress, not perfection. Here's a good one. Let's talk bumpy butts. Or this is what we call them. So this is a good tomato. Perfectly good tomato, but it's got a little blemish on it. This will peel off. It'll be a little stubborn to get your peel off, but this actually will lift right out of your tomato. You can cut it out if it's easier, or use your fingers. I'm making a mess in the air. I let Hannah just pull them out. So yeah, it leaves a hole in the tomato, but we're gonna cut it up anyways.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So when you do this, I suggest a lot of towels. Break out the hand towels, put some towels on the floor. You'll be slipping and sliding all over the place.
And make sure you have an apron. Definitely
Wear an apron, a good thick one, because you will be soaked in tomato juice and water. Tomatoes are very messy.
This is my apron.
Or maybe they're just messy for us. So you got your apron. All right, you want to show them how you peel your tomato?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you gonna put it down?
Peel your tomato. Put your peel in your bucket, and I'm watching, so you peel.
Tease out your tomato you want to peel, and put it in there.
See, they just slip off real easy. Let's get a close up. Great job.
Make sure you flip it over right here. Make sure you don't fall in the water. You don't want that. I put the dog in a cage. You have a dog, don't let her eat the tomatoes, so we put her in the cage. It's hard for me to put her in the cage, so I wait for her to lay down and I lock the cage. And her cage is in the mud room.
All right, Miss Hannah has peeled all these tomatoes, and even the tomatoes that I've already started to cut up.
And she even pulled them out and put them in there for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I always move.
Okay, so we got a few more. I'm going back to dicing. I'll show you how I dice them up. You can also juice these. You can, smash them and do crushed tomatoes. You can do whole tomatoes.
Oops.
Oh, it's okay, honey.
Watch me do this.
So, tomato casualty. What was I saying? Oh, you make sauce, juice, diced, crushed, whatever you want to do. But I use a lot of diced tomatoes and tomato sauce, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and can up diced tomatoes, because that gives me a lot of options if I want to make tomato sauce, make chili, or add the diced tomatoes to a casserole or some kind of dish that I'm cooking, or a stew and I want some chunks of tomatoes in it. So diced tomatoes for us. Talk this one out. Okay. You want to core your tomato. You can do this however you want. I do it like that. And then dice it up however you like. I like mine to be in pretty even pieces if I can. Once you get going, you'll get a rhythm. And you'll just start making piles of tomatoes. So they're your tomatoes. So you dice them up how you would like. If you don't want to dice, you can put them all in a pan and crush them with like a potato masher. You can use your hands if you want. You can run them through a food processor or a blender. Those are going to be a little bit more liquefied. As you are cutting, like this one had a big spot in it I had to cut out. You can pull out any of the blemishes that you see. If you have like a cat eye tomato, usually more common in heirloom tomatoes. These were really good fresh tomatoes. These are what people would refer to as a first pick or canning tomato. Really fresh, first ripened, just really good tomatoes. You can get them at a store. We get ours at an Amish store locally here, or find you a local farmer. Find a farmer that plants tomatoes, sells tomatoes, somebody that may be in the Amish or Mennonite community, and buy tomatoes from them. You can buy them by the cases, and not only are they providing you with a wonderful service and a great tomato, but you're feeding a family. Not just your own, but theirs.
Here's a tomato.
And you just might make a lifelong friend and learn some really good growing techniques, because, come on, I can't grow tomatoes like this. My tomatoes aren't even ready in my garden. I've gotten a few small ones that have come off here and there, but my tomatoes are nowhere near done. So I'm going to go ahead and finish dicing all of these up and get cleaned up, get this pan and everything cleaned up, and then we'll jump in and be ready to start canning. So just a little update. I'm still dicing. It takes a while for this many tomatoes, but it just occurred to me that I have 2 canners. Why am I not using my other canner to put all these tomatoes in? So I have a water bath canner and I have a pressure canner. Now you can use your pressure canner to water bath in, but you can't use your water bath canner to pressure can in. Okay? Okay. So I broke out my pressure canner and I'm going to use it to heat up my tomatoes because I need a really big pot. This is a lot of tomatoes.
Yes, it's tons.
Holy cow.
You don't look me.
I may have bitten off more than I can chew, but I was like, I cannot turn down these tomatoes. They were $13 a case. If you know what a tomato cost in a store, especially a large beefsteak tomato, then you know that $13 a case for 25 pounds of tomatoes is like exceptional. Exceptional, because I get organic tomatoes in a can and I pay $4.99 for a 4-pack. So I'm pretty happy. So just a quick update. I am going to jump back in here and continue to dice. I have about a bowl and a half, and then I can move on to the next step. I guesstimated that I would be done sometime around 5 or 5:30 tonight. It's 2:30. I started at noon. Eventually, everybody's going to want to be fed, and I have no idea what I'm going to feed them yet. I did not plan this out well.
I eat a tomato sandwich.
Yes, tomato sandwich. Do you know what a tomato sandwich is? Oh my gosh. You have to do a tomato sandwich. Do we have sliced tomatoes out? Go get me some bread.
Mom!
Oh, it tastes good. Okay, so Joe loves tomato sandwiches. Hannah loves them. I love them, but I don't eat mine on bread. So let me pop you down here. I'm balancing you on jars. Hang on. Okay. You need a good slicing tomato. Doesn't matter what color, just a tomato that you like to eat.
Grab yourself some bread, 2 pieces.
Grab yourself some bread. Now, grab some bread that you like. Joe prefers white bread because these are tomato sandwiches. So he went and bought some, what I would call like Wonder Bread. This is white bread.
Tomato!
Yes.
Make sure you cut up yourself tomato, but my dad cut this up.
Joe and I would eat ours with mayonnaise on it. Your mayonnaise is optional. I grew up eating it with Miracle Whip, and then later on Hellman's. Joe likes Duke's, but it doesn't matter.
I like mine with salt.
Hannah does not like mayonnaise, so she does
Salt!
And you can toast your bread if you want to. I love my bread toasted, but we're not doing that today. So let's show you what we got here. We got our bread. We're gonna put, you want 1 tomato or 2? Probably 2?
Yeah.
Okay, you got your tomatoes. This is a pink Himalayan salt, our fave. You can use sea salt, Celtic salt, I guess regular salt, kosher salt, but there you go. Tomato sandwich.
I can eat it.
What makes this good is a really good tomato. The tomato is what makes the sandwich. So, not one of them store-bought tomatoes, because that's full of disappointment. You want a really good homegrown tomato. There is something about the love that you put into growing a tomato and all that sunshine that makes it taste phenomenal. So,
makes me jump.
Happy. Take that and go sit down. Go to the table. Okay. So there you go. Tomato sandwich. No. Okay. So you are going to need 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in each jar and a teaspoon of salt.
And I'm making sure. Right, Mama?
I am using quart jars, and I am going off of a ball canning recipe that is on the ball canning site. I will list it. Hang on, I'm trying to measure and do this at the same time. I will put a link in the description box below. Give this a little swirl. Happy melting. So we've got our lemon juice and our salt in our jars, and what I usually do is I grab a pan and I scoop some of the water out of the water bath canner and I put my lids in it. So you do not want to boil your lids. Just some good hot water to soften up the ring. Soften up this little brown part. This is the gasket or the seal, so that it seals. Some people don't do this though. We got those going. Did you grab me the vinegar? Can you get me a little bowl, or grab that bowl that's just right behind you?
Right here?
Okay. Now we're going to do kind of a cleanup. A little bit of vinegar. I'm just going to clean up around the rings.
I do it.
No, ma'am. Mom's going to get this part because we made quite a mess. So, a little bit of white vinegar on a paper towel. We're going to go around the outside of the edges. Fold it. Go around the outside of this edge. Fold it. Oh my, yes, look, tomato. Yes, we did. We made tomato. We made lots of tomato messes. I know this one's a mess. I might put this one out. That jar is hot. All right. Let's find another spot and dip.
I'm watching you.
Jars.
I think I'm going to do this too.
And just wiping the rims off. Just to make sure we don't have any food or debris or anything on there. If these were sticky, we would be making sure we don't have anything sticky on them. But, okay. I think Mama got them all.
Can I watch? I was watching.
I know you always watch. I'm going to drop some lids on these.
Can I do it?
Nope, that's good and warm.
And then I can screw it on, right?
Mama's going to screw them on.
Oh. I mean with those.
I need to get one of those little magnet, lid magnet lifters. You can even tell by putting these in the warm water, they've got a stick to them. So there is that. We're going to throw our extra ones in because we've got
Boy.
6 to 7 jars to do.
And when we're doing that, we're gonna
I'm gonna ring. I'm gonna put the rings on them, okay? There's a reason for that. Okay. Watch carefully. The ring on. It's basically one turn and a little bit more. Finger tight. You don't want to crank it down. You should be able to put it on with 2 fingers and easily remove it with 2 fingers. Best to just use 2 fingers. No, I don't like the way that one fit. What's going on here? Much better. So you have your jar. You put it down in the canner. Obviously, there's not enough water in there. The more jars you add, the water line will rise. And then you can add additional water if needed. Ooh, we're gonna make these fit. The water level, if you can see, came all the way to the top of the pan. Your water needs to be at least 1 inch to 2 inches above your cans. Opinions vary. So follow your bulk canning recipe or whatever canning recipe that you are using. These are going to water bath for 45 minutes because they are quart jars, 35 minutes for pints. So we are going to get this up on high at a good boil, and then once it is boiling, put the lid on and set your timer. Okay. It's 6:35. I still have 2 more rounds of canning. So I'm going to go ahead and get these out. After they are done, let them sit in there for an additional 5-10 minutes, and then go ahead and pull them out and stick them on a towel. This is a hot mess over here. My helper is hanging out with her big sister. So I got these other jars done pretty quick, and they are ready to go. Everything is still hot, so Should be able to get 7 jars in. Make sure you leave some space between your jars so they don't bang together. So, I am contemplating taking the rest of this and going ahead and turning it into spaghetti sauce. Because I'm tired. So, I have 14 jars of canned tomatoes. Honestly, I know how many tomatoes we go through, and we would need something more like probably 80 to get us through an entire year. That's realistic. 80 jars. So I'm gonna let these sit, heat up, and get them going, and I'll see you back in a little bit. So it is day 2. Last night was a late night. I finished up about 9:40, and I got 7 cans in to each session that I did. I stopped at the 3rd one. I had a little bit left over, and that one in the fridge. I'm gonna go ahead and make some sauce up today for dinner. But all in all, everything came out, everything sealed. And I was a little worried because I got so rushed into what I was doing, and there was so much going on. The kids were hungry. Hannah was in here helping me. I forgot to debubble my jars on my first round. And then on my second round, or it might have been my third, look, it's all running together at this point. I forgot to clean the top of my jars off. So with that, I caught it in time, and I went ahead and took all of my lids back off and put them back in the warm water to get them cleaned off, and I cleaned all the rims of the jars off and then reassembled, because it's more than likely you will have a failed seal if there is something sticky or a little tomato debris or whatever it is you're canning on that rim. Your seal's just not, it's not going to work. So that is all done. They came out great. Everything is sealed. Tomatoes are in there. It does separate. The liquid's at the bottom, the tomatoes are at the top. That's normal. And they're good to go. Now, something that is definitely important, all of these will go on a shelf, and they will stay flat on a shelf. I don't stack anything on top of my jars, and I take the rings off. So I've removed the rings. They have been sitting for over 12 hours. So usually they say 12 to 24 hours. And probably one of the most important things that you do is label these. Label your jars. I know you can look at this and say, oh, that's diced tomatoes, but it helps if you label it, because somebody else may not know what this is, and they may be looking to make something to eat, and then also put your date on there. The date's important because, of course, you want to know when this was put together, but that also allows you to rotate what's in your pantry. So if you already have jars of diced tomatoes in there and they're approaching a year old, you want to use those up first. So very, very important. I have a permanent marker that I write on the top of these. You do not want to reuse your lids. I don't, unless I am going to use them just as storage for something that's going in my fridge. So sometimes I will put butter in a jar, or if I'm making a quick jelly to throw in there, or a quick jam. I keep my pickled okra and stuff in my mason jars. If I don't have one of those little plastic or wood lids to go on top, hang on, I just washed one. So if I don't have one of these to put on top of my jars, I will go ahead and grab one of my old rings and lids to use. You can reuse your rings, but usually once the lids are done, I end up pitching them, or I will wash them as long as nothing is wrong with them. Sometimes I have seen them, like after they are wet, you've washed them in the sink and then put them off to dry, or in the dishwasher, they rust. And once it has rust on it, it hits trash can for me. That's me. It hits the trash can. So these are ready to go. I'm going to get the labels written on them. I am putting them back in the boxes that they came in because, let's see if you guys can see. I am putting these on a wired rack shelf, and I don't want them to tip or fall over, so this is a little bit more sturdy. And then we are all done. I've already told Joe that I would love to do tomato sauce and get that done, so he is on the hunt for my next tomato creation, my next 2-day adventure in the kitchen. So once I have those and I find a recipe that we want to use, we'll go ahead and throw that together. Make sure that if you want to do this, that you follow an approved canning recipe. I am going to link below the recipe that I used for this that came off of the Ball Canning site. And you guys try it out. If you have any comments, feel free to put those in the bottom. I share this not to specifically instruct you on what you absolutely need to do. I share this so that you can see that anybody can do this. I made mistakes. I'm not new to canning, but I made mistakes, and pretty, what I would consider more rookie mistakes, not, debubbling a jar, forgetting to clean your rim off, but it's gonna happen. Mistakes are going to happen, so please try to be as safe as you can. There's always the tried and true. If the seal fails, throw it in the fridge. If it's up on the shelf and you see anything growing up under here, mold or something, it's probably gone bad. You need to go ahead and get rid of it. When in doubt, throw it out. If you pop one of these off and you smell this and you say, whoa, that does not smell like tomatoes, this is one of the best tools that you're gonna have. If it does not smell like tomatoes, I wouldn't eat it. So, use your sniffer, use your eyes. I don't think I would be bold enough to taste it. So, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, of course, comment below. I would love to hear how you guys can tomatoes, so feel free to share that with me. And as always, guys, thank you for joining me on my journey today, and I bless you on yours.